Welcome to the Culture Edit. Unique perspectives into the personal and professional lives of individuals at the helm of successful business, athletics, art, and design. Welcome to the Culture Edit, episode 109. Coming at you, not live, but live currently, except we're feeling unalived because we're both sick.
Well, that's not true. Today we both were able to get out into the open spaces for
Today
the first
we
time
turned
and
a
work out.
corner. Yeah,
Definitely. You ran and I rode.
but I only ran 3 miles and it was brutal. So I'm not sure how I'm going to add 23 extra miles onto that. But
You've got like 5 days.
yeah,
You'll be fine.
yeah. Thanks.
I was able to ride, but it was sad pace.
Yeah.
I cut shortcuts because the group I ride with, they have no mercy.
Yeah.
But it was good to get back out there although the cool air, I'm not down with the cool air.
Really?
I like hot,
still,
wet air.
I was still really sweaty. But
Yeah, it was still humid, but it was it was cooling. And I just know what's coming.
yeah. Yeah,
The
running is a little
cold,
different.
burning lung air.
Yeah. Yeah, riding is much colder than running, that's for sure. It looks like we're going to have not cold air in Chicago. Looks like it's going to be pretty warm,
Really?
which isn't ideal for people trying to PR.
What's the temperatures going to be?
It's going to be in like the 60s to 70s.
That's cooler.
Yeah, but for running, it's people consider that hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when you start, it's going to be in the 60s?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it keeps changing. It keeps saying it's going to rain, then it's cold, then it's hot, so who knows. But
It's going to be windy.
no, now it's not going to be windy.
It's the Windy City.
It said it was going to be windy. Now it's not.
What are America's top 4 major cities?
In my opinion,
Yeah,
or
in
what
your
am I
opin-
basing it off of?
In your opinion, just what are the top 4 American cities?
All right, I would say New York, LA, Atlanta, and Miami.
Wow.
Yeah.
No Chicago.
Well, I've never been to Chicago, so it's not on my radar.
Okay.
I have no perspective of it.
Well, soon you will. Well, let's ask after this weekend. And we'll
And I
see.
never meet people that
They're like, oh, Chicago.
from Chicago.
Yeah.
Like I meet people, like I know people.
I don't think they
obviously.
leave.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I've known a few people, obviously like Maddie, Maddie from Miami. She moved to Chicago, but that was for her boyfriend to go to school there. And I don't know that they have plans to stay there long term necessarily. Other than that, everyone that I know that has lived in Chicago has left after like a year or two because the winters are too brutal, or they grew up there and they never left.
What about Boston, Philadelphia, Dallas?
Well, I've
Houston?
never been to Philly. Dallas, I don't particularly like. I've only been there for work, so that's kind of like a jaded perspective of it because I've just done the whole work thing where it's
all concrete.
yeah, it's not. It's just I don't know. I really couldn't give like a true opinion.
Well, this is the debate on I don't know if you've seen this. This is like the debate on the internet. What are America's top 4 major
The
cities?
reason I say New York, LA, Atlanta, Miami, and I know that's skewing heavily towards the East Coast, obviously.
I'm actually surprised you even put LA on there because you're disdain for LA.
Well, I didn't say that these were because I necessarily love the cities.
Yeah.
It's more of just I think which cities have the most cultural influence
Yeah.
right now. I wouldn't say in the past that Miami has necessarily had a huge influence on the rest of the United States, but I think post-COVID, because so many people have decided to move to Florida, Florida in general is having a much larger impact on the United States than it has in the past.
Definitely.
From a cultural perspective. So yeah, I mean, New York is New York. You can't say you cannot leave that off the list. Like if you do,
No, yeah. It's the most
you're a
major city in the
weirdo.
world. Yeah.
LA again. I mean, it's Hollywood. It's everything that when people think of America, I actually do believe they probably think of LA first because of movies and movie stars.
Yep.
And then Atlanta, because of the cultural diversity, nothing influences cultural diversity in America as much as the city of Atlanta, in my opinion.
Atlanta influences everything.
I believe that the diversity in music, the diversity in fashion, the diversity in people, it all comes out of Atlanta.
Fashion?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's a lot of fashion. There's definitely not like fashion houses in Atlanta, but I think people that grow up in Atlanta and are influenced by the culture of Atlanta have taken that to LA, taking that to New York, taking it.
Like streetwear fashion.
Well, I mean, I would say that there's probably some cultural influence I mean, I haven't done like deep research into this, but my guess is that there's other cultural influences when it comes to like, African American roots, like in the South. I'm sure that people have been influenced by that, and that's trickled into definitely other areas of music. Actually one place that I feel like I wouldn't say it's a major city, but I feel like it's one of those cities that like has a really big influence in music, obviously, is New Orleans.
Yeah, it's not a major city.
But it's not a major city, but it does, for how small it is, it does have a pretty big influence.
I haven't been to New Orleans in so long. I used to spend so much time
What
there.
are your top 4?
New York, LA, Chicago, and then fourth is the big debate. For me, it's either Atlanta or Miami. It's one of those two. And anyone that says otherwise, like you're like from a relevance perspective, you don't have any credibility. If you think it's a city in Texas,
no, Texas is no.
I mean, or San Francisco.
I would say like Austin maybe had like a little bit of an uptick after COVID,
but it's not a major city.
Yeah. And to me, it feels like a bro city.
Yeah, it is.
What about Boston though?
I think Boston is a major city. I haven't been there in a long time. I used to spend a lot of time there for work in a former life. I used to commute there every Monday and come home every Friday. I found it to be even though it's a big city, it feels very small.
Yeah.
And it is very much if you're from here, you're accepted. If you are not from here, we don't have time for you.
You feel that a lot though. Like, and I don't know if that's I don't know if I'm just missing something, but there's a lot of places where we go where you say that's the like vibe that you're getting, and I don't get that vibe at all.
No, just there in Charleston.
Okay.
That's it. You're thinking about Charleston, and Charleston is the worst in the world. Charleston, if you did not grow up in Charleston, and they don't know what high school you went to, we don't have time for it.
Anyway,
that's my
that's
debate. And back to Boston, I think it's great. I don't think it's influential.
Yeah.
And in Philadelphia, I used to spend a lot of time there too. I don't think it's influential. It's a major city, but
the weird thing about Atlanta is I don't feel like a lot of people travel here to visit Atlanta necessarily.
No, it's a hub.
But it is a hub, and again, and it does feel like it influences. But anyways, okay, so that was a long tangent. Do we want to talk about updates on running and riding now that we're starting to feel better? I was really questioning whether I was going to make it to Chicago, but I think I'll be okay.
I guess, we didn't, last week's episode, you had not.
I wasn't sick yet.
You weren't sick yet. So the concern after I was sick and I got pneumonia was that you would be sick. And it was a pretty extended period of time where we thought you had made it through the wilderness.
Well, basically a week. You got sick last Thursday, and I got sick last Thursday. I mean, sorry, you got sick Thursday before last, and I started feeling it last Thursday, Friday.
1 week apart.
Yeah.
Nikki did get sick. Luckily, not as bad as me, because she's younger and more healthy than I am.
And I went and got an
IV. You got an IV from what's it called?
It's called Restore Wellness. They're all over the place. I mean, they're all over the country. They have 260 locations, which we'll actually have a guest coming up who's their chief science officer at Restore Wellness. All of this just kind of like happened serendipitously. But yeah, I went to, there's one right off the Bell Line. So I went there.
What did you get?
I got it was called like the something Meyer IV drip. Anyways, I got an IV drip that had basically just a ton of vitamins in it for immunity. And then I added B12 and I added an amino blend. And it took about 2 hours. They're moving slow there, I felt like. I don't feel like it should have taken that long considering how much they charge. That's another topic probably for their general manager. But but it was a good experience. The nurse was super nice. I would like to give some vibe consulting. That's the only thing. The vibe wasn't exactly what I was anticipating. And I don't know. I think I was expecting more of like not a spa, but more of like a restorative, relaxing experience. Yeah. And I wouldn't say it wasn't not relaxing. It felt more clinical than I was thinking it would be. Yeah. So it's kind of like, you're going into like a doctor's office to get an IV more so than like going into a relaxing recovery place to get an IV. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk to her about that.
Yeah, maybe that's a strategy to kind of make it feel more clinical, so it feels
Yeah.
more official.
What a crazy world we live in. You know, people, when I told people that you were sick and everyone's like, no, because you've been training so hard for Chicago and our fear was that you'd get sick.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, rest in orange juice. I'm like, oh, orange juice. She's getting an IV with.
Don't blow me up.
Yeah, like, but think about like what a crazy world we live in. That's an option.
I do think I think it shortened. I mean, this is
Definitely.
the fastest I've ever gotten over a cold. Like 4 days. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, 3.5 days. I mean, I would say I'm pretty much over it.
You went really far down, and then 3.5 days later, you were able to run.
But I
today.
also was very disciplined over the last 3 days, and I got like 12 to 13 hours of sleep a night.
Yep.
Did not drink a drop of alcohol.
Yep.
Only did like tons of vitamins. I was going to Whole Foods. I bought like all the the little shots and everything, the wellness shots.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you put your mind to it, it's kind of amazing what you can do.
I did none of that.
Yeah, you just go
Just normal.
deep into the drinking hole, which prolongs your agony.
No vitamins.
No vitamins, just alcohol.
No IV. Just a Negroni or
But
two.
I would definitely recommend. I mean, there's a lot of IV places in Atlanta, so go wherever. But I 100.
So you'd recommend doing it? You felt like it made a difference?
I think I'm gonna go get another one before
a good
we
idea.
leave, just to extra. Like it made me. They pumped me full of 2.5 gallon. I kind of was like questioning her math because I was like, is there really that much like liquids going into me? But it was like 4 full bags of liquid.
Wow.
She said 2.5 gallons of liquids was going into me.
Yeah.
So the next day, my fingers were swollen huge. Like I had to take my rings off because I was just like very hydrated.
Huh.
But then within a day, that went down. But I think
What other good stuff can they pump you with?
the menu's like limitless.
Huh.
Yeah, you can choose. There's like all different kinds of stuff.
Oh, maybe
I just asked her like, what did she recommend as a nurse for like, trying to get over this cold.
Oh, well, maybe I'll go with you and do it.
Yeah. I mean, it was
do it.
good. It was a good experience.
We'll do a full report. I'll do it before Big Sugar next week.
Yeah, I think if anything, just getting hydrated and giving yourself a little extra boost before you travel, I think is good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So yeah, I would recommend that. And again, they try to push the whole membership thing on you, but they weren't like overly salesy.
That's good.
I don't know that I'd sign up for a membership, but it's relatively affordable enough that you could kind of just, I mean, I'd be fine paying full price and not having to be locked into the membership.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not, because you don't want to feel like you have to do it all the time.
I will say that, this is my favorite time of the year when it comes to living in Atlanta because the weather is about to get perfect. Who was I talking to this? I think I was talking to the nurse about it. At Restore, we were both saying how Atlanta has the most, out of all cities in the United States, has the best weather holistically. So
Yeah, I've heard that before.
because you get an amazing fall. You don't get an amazing fall in a lot of places. Like a lot, up north, it kind of goes like hot to cold really fast. You have like a little bit of a fall. Atlanta has a pretty prolonged fall season, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then, Florida, it's kind of just always hot and you get a couple cool days here and there. I guess if you go out west, you have some decent weather out west. But for me, this fall season, festival season, Halloween season, Thanksgiving,
Stomp and Chomp.
it is the best in Atlanta. And it's beautiful here. Like the leaves change. I mean, it's just, we sound so cliche because I'm like, oh, the leaves changing. But I don't know.
You get all 4 seasons.
I mean, you get all 4 seasons. And I would say you could go all the way up to North Carolina and have that similar experience. Really,
Yeah,
Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, you get that really good fall experience.
definitely. I think all the way through Virginia.
Yeah. Today we're gonna dive into more than just talking about the weather because that's extremely boring.
We've already lost everyone on Atlanta weather.
We have. It's not controversial at this point because it's just out there. But if you're in the bike industry or if you ride bikes and follow the news around cycling whatsoever, you have either really dug into it or you've heard on the peripheral what is happening in Taiwan with Giant, with Merida, which is another another large company that produces bikes for
Second largest.
the likes of Specialized, Pinarello. They're actually a 35% owner of Specialized.
Yep.
So their second main investor. There's been a lot of drama, and Chad's dug into this more than I have, and you wrote a really great article on it in our Substack and the Culture Edit. So kind of give us what you found throughout this whole process.
Well, I will say, based on my conversations this morning, that I was surprised that guys that do ride bikes and are in business had no idea this was actually happening. Yeah, so what happened is effectively last week, or now it's been the week before last, U.S. Customs and Border Agency issued an order prohibiting Giants from importing bikes to America. And I think this came as a big surprise to a lot of people in the industry in the U.S., basically because an investigative journalist has done quite an extensive job reporting on Giant, Merida, and other bike industry component manufacturers in Taiwan that have been engaged in some pretty bad, terrible labor practices.
Not pretty bad, really bad.
Debt bondage, wage withholding, abusive working conditions, excessive overtime.
So for the non-legal people, explain quickly what is debt bondage.
So it's a really messed up situation. So if you think about Taiwan as a very rich, wealthy country, they have a lot of manufacturing facilities there that need workers, and they don't have workers in Taiwan. It's a small, wealthy country. So they go out to other countries that surround them in Asia, Southeast Asia, like Vietnam, and they recruit, or they hire a company to recruit individuals to come work in those factories. Well, this isn't like the West. Instead of just recruiting them and paying them like a normal person would, they say, if you want to work for us, you have to pay $6,500 effectively to this company that's going to recruit to bring you in.
Secure their spot.
To secure their spot to work in the factory. So what's happening is that those employees are coming to work for Giant, Merida, et cetera. There's $6,500 in debt to these other companies that that Giant and Merida have hired, and it's debt bondage. They can't leave employ, and they're barely paying them. So Giant and Merida are actually holding the wages to pay the recruitment company that now has a $6,500 debt bond. And by the way, $6,500 is like 6 months of pay for these individuals.
Yeah.
And in Merida's case, they actually were taking individuals' passports away from them so they couldn't leave.
Yeah. And they're in like bunk houses in the factory.
Exactly.
With like rats and sewage and like terrible
working conditions. They're working them overtime and not paying them for overtime. Basically, the worst possible moment in American industrial history was in the 1920s, which is why we have Fair Labor Standards Act and all the laws that protect. That was way better than what these people are experiencing right now in Taiwan, making bicycles for these companies. And I think
because a lot of that was with like child labor and
exactly
more of that like overtime and not paying them for overtime, or just like dangerous working conditions, like on
the
railroad and stuff.
Right. And so it's just crazy to think, and again, putting on my labor lawyer hat, it's just was so baffling to think that there's companies in 2025 that are treating workers this way.
Yeah.
And that are, it's a strategy for them. And that's why U.S. Customs got involved, because, they're all about trying to protect American manufacturers from unfair practices, which effectively this is, right? So you're making the same product that an American company manufacturing a bicycle would be making, but you're doing it with basically forced slave labor.
But is nothing, no cyclists or no bikes are made in America anymore?
No, there's some. There's some. I mean, Allied makes all theirs in the U.S. Trek makes their higher end bikes in the U.S. in Waterloo, Wisconsin. There's some smaller ones. I mean, Trek's the largest in the world, but it's just not, and it's not just the U.S. It's also, you think about your European manufacturers, the ones that are like our friends at Basso that are making bikes in Italy, where their labor standards are even higher than the U.S. So they're providing a much higher level of compensation and treatment for employees. How do you compete with a company that's basically engaging in slave labor?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just so...
What's crazy to me is how I have seen so many people get so up in arms about literally everything.
Stupid social issues.
You drop like a pen on the course and it's like the most malicious pen that anyone could have put on a course, and it popped someone's tire, and it was evil, and it was against women and all this stuff, whatever. But like
The pen was against women?
yeah, like the pen was like against the women in the race, and it ruined it.
Patriarchy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I've heard like the most crazy things, and some of it is warranted, but most of the things I hear people complain about when it comes to the cycling world, it's stupid and not realistic. And
isn't it just
double standard I've ever heard.
It's scope of perception though, like
I mean like perspective?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just think like that person probably doesn't understand.
And I'm not thinking of one person, honestly.
No, it's a hypothetical person. I just think that person doesn't understand how things are made. I don't think you and I have a perspective that's unique because we have clients that are manufacturing clients. All right. And we spend time in manufacturing facilities. We talk to people. I worked for a company for 15 years that was a manufactured furniture. And so we know that there's people making these things. There's human beings that we talk to that have lives and families and stress, like really real stresses, because, they're working in blue collar jobs. I don't know if the person you're talking about though understands how things are made. Like that's what I'm thinking about.
I think that's totally fine. That could be the case. I would respectfully disagree in majority of cases and say that I believe people's heads are so far up their butts with performative, like performative slop that comes out of their mouths that only is helping themselves, only about helping people like them. And I believe that they are not capable of actually thinking outside of their own performances.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that I have, because I think there are people.
They don't genuinely care.
Yeah. And that's where the whole performative everything comes into place. And so but it really bothers me because we have spent a lot of time not in Taiwan specifically, but we've spent a lot of time in San Pedro Sula, Honduras. And that's where a lot of the Nike manufacturing happens. And they treat those workers so well. I mean, considering it's a third world country, considering the adversity that these employees are dealing with every single day, the level of protection and safety and just everything that they're trying to provide within, I mean, you can't fix everything in someone's neighborhood, but you can fix everything in someone's workplace. It really infuriates me that people just don't care about these employees.
Well, that's what's so baffling to me about this story, because if you think about that facility in San Pedro Sula is a good example. We talked to some women that didn't have the ability to have childcare.
Yeah.
And so we went back to the client and said, this is a major issue. And the client got together with Nike and they said, we're going to provide childcare.
Within 2 weeks.
Like within 2 weeks. And it changed these women's lives. It's crazy that the same type of, it's crazy that a company that's manufacturing, and by the way, Giant has 13,000 employees.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, vast majority of employees have no idea. Like, this is a shock to everyone, right? Like, especially on the U.S. sales side, marketing, et cetera. I'm sure they all shocked. But at the leadership level in that organization, they 100% knew that this was happening.
Yeah.
And that's what is so fucked up.
Any leader listening to this podcast, if you are a leader over thousands of people, and obviously, if it's hundreds of people, of course, you know what's going on. But even thousands of people, if you're a CEO, if you're on the executive team, you know if there are risky hiring practices happening. Like 100%. The reason you know is because you know it's such a high risk. You've got to somehow keep a pulse on it to make sure that you're not going to get caught, essentially.
Yep.
I mean, if you don't think their legal team is trying to cross every dot and I to cover that up, of course they are.
Well, and that's the problem, is they're based in Taiwan and there aren't legal protections for employees, and they don't care.
Yeah.
It's about the bottom line. And it's about them being able to manufacture a product as cheaply as possible and then selling it. The U.S. is their largest market.
Yeah.
But
that's why if people really want to make a difference, they would essentially boycott brands like this.
Yeah, it is interesting. Well, I think a lot of people don't even know about it, but it is interesting to see people's reaction. Like Ryan and I talked about it, and he was like, this really makes me feel proud to ride a Basso bike, knowing that I know who Alessandro Basso is, and he is a CEO and knows all 80 employees in that company.
Yep.
and I never even really like I've never really thought. I mean, I've never wanted to ride an Asian bike. I never really have, other than I had a Specialized once, and because I was on a team that had them as a sponsor. But I've always appreciated fine Italian handmade bikes. But now it's like we started thinking this was such an eye opener to us because again we didn't think that this was even possible to be happening in 2025. Who all our partners are.
Yeah.
Where's everything
made? We're going through the checklist and we're like, oh, like, is this made in Taiwan? Okay, maybe we need to start asking, like, we're not going to buy this or we're not going to, have you as a partner if you can't show us that your labor practices are fair.
Yeah. I mean,
and safe.
I just didn't think we lived in a world where that was an issue anymore. Like
really?
I talked about like in the 80s and 90s, this was an issue. And like Nike got caught off guard with this.
Yeah.
But their partners that they were using in Asia caught them off guard they were involved in unfair labor practices, and they made such a huge deal about it that I just felt like everyone had kind of followed suit.
Yeah.
Like I felt like this is an issue in the world that had gone away.
See, I definitely didn't think so, only because I just feel like where there are third world countries with marginalized people that are desperate for money, and where there are very close in geography rich countries with a lot of money, they're going to take advantage of people. It just is what it is. Like rich people just take advantage of poor people, and in those circumstances, not I wouldn't say there's obviously certain cases in America, but nowhere in America is at that level. But when you're talking about third world country,
I just thought the global social standard had provided us with an opportunity to ensure that doesn't happen anymore. And that's, I guess, to your point, I thought that people just wouldn't take the risk because they wouldn't want the boycott. They wouldn't want or to have that as their brand.
But you see,
you're seeing
no one's boycotting.
Right. It's not an issue. So let's talk about what has happened as a result. Giant is still prohibited from coming to the U.S.
Yeah.
I just checked before we got on the podcast. Giant has issued, and I think that's what our point of our Substack was, our newsletter was that it's even more inflammatory if you look at the language that their CEO uses. She talks about treating employees the right way. She talks about the importance of culture. She's just appointed CEO in January of this year, but she has been with the company for 25 years.
The granddaughter of the founder.
Exactly. Like her dad was just a CEO. So it's just a family company at this point. But that's the insult to injury is the bullshit language that they use around how they treat their people. But what they've done, they've said, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to make sure that there's no more debt bondage. We're not going to charge that $6,500.
But they didn't agree to repay it, though.
They did not agree to repay the current employees that are currently under debt bondage.
Yeah.
Merita, the second largest manufacturer, who's also caught up in this, has agreed to both. Yeah. So they're not going to do it, and they're repaying their current employees. They're giving them their passports back.
It's ridiculous.
So Merita has gone a step further. I do think that's probably pressure from Specialized in the U.S.
100%.
So as Nikki mentioned, I didn't know this before, but Merita owns 35% of Specialized.
You don't think Synerd called them up that as soon as that broke and was like, if this is happening?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
like...
hopefully they didn't know. Hopefully Specialized didn't know.
No, I mean, I could see them not knowing.
Yeah.
Because you think about like when
I don't know, a company that big, you've got auditors. Like this is what you audit. I don't know. That'd be a good question. But all news to me. I didn't know Merita owned 35% of Specialized. I didn't know Merita makes all of Specialized bikes.
I bet someone on the legal team.
So if you're riding a Specialized bike, you're riding Merita.
Yeah.
That was kind of news to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I mean, Giant also makes a lot. Merita makes Pinarello.
All except for the Dogma F, which is still made in Italy.
Yeah.
They make Bianchi. They make
Cannondale, Cervelo.
Canyon. Cervelo is now made in China.
Oh, it's made in China.
But yeah, they make some Canyon. Canyon's also mainly made in China.
But the thing about China is we don't have the ease of insight into these types of things.
No,
like it's even hard.
No.
Like this stuff's happening in China, 100%.
Yeah.
Like there's no doubt in my mind. Like if it's happening in Taiwan, it's happening in China. It's just China's under lock and key. We don't know what's going on over there a lot of times.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm just curious what type of fallout, if any, happens in the U.S. in terms of publicity so far. I mean, it's been in New York Times, Wall Street Journal. It's been in American industry publications, but it's just not making that big of a deal out of it, which is really surprising.
I haven't seen a lot on social media about it.
Nothing on social media.
It's so weird. I'm like, of all the junk that we get fed on social media, of all the like fake news, inflammatory stuff that is constantly fed on our algorithm, this one thing that's like a legitimate human rights like crisis, like no one,
which we would be in the demographic of the algorithm being fed that.
It's just
right?
so strange.
It is very, very bizarre. But anyway, we'll continue to think about who we partner with, and as a result of this, and where things are made and how they treat their people. I don't know. Maybe that's because of what we do.
Well,
maybe it's just because of what we do, because we know these are real people.
But this has even taken it further for me, where like I was looking at like, I don't know, like a sweater or whatever that I wanted to buy online. And now I'm looking to see, like, I've always, because if something's made in China, like I just typically won't buy it.
Yeah.
But if it was made in Taiwan before, I was less likely to buy it. But now I'm like, hell no, I'm not buying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, there's some, but I do want to say there are some good manufacturers. There's obviously great manufacturers in Taiwan.
But I don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk it now.
Yeah. I mean, Factor they own their factory, and it's in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Like they make their own stuff there. So yeah, subscribe to our newsletter, Culture Edit. It actually is not in the Speed Studio newsletter, but I think we will link to it in this week's Speed Studio newsletter for sure. But it's a crazy situation.
It's definitely
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about, speaking of labor market, do we want to talk about all of the AI changes that have been impacting the labor market? Because there's a lot to unpack.
Depends on how much we want to lose our audience. Also in our newsletter last week, we wrote about how the labor market is being impacted by a lot of different forces, one of which we think isn't being recognized, and that's that AI slop on both sides. You have large companies using AI technology that's been pushed on them by software salespeople and HR people that think it's going to be the easy button for success. And then you've got applicants using AI to apply to these jobs, and nothing's getting read. No one's getting response. And you've got leadership that is going, why can't we fill these jobs?
Yeah.
And that's why.
Well, I think it's laziness meets laziness.
That's exactly what
collides.
It is. Yes.
If, and unfortunately there are people on the applicant side that are getting lumped in with the lazy applications. And that is unfortunate, because I've talked to friends that are like, I've applied to, 200 different jobs. I can't even get one response. And my first thing is, are you using AI to apply? Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Just apply directly on their career site if you can. Reach out on LinkedIn. Like, go look and see who the recruiters are at their company. Go see who the hiring, someone in HR, but ideally a recruiter. Reach out to them directly. Send a resume. Do not use AI for your resume.
Yep.
Just write it yourself. Don't use AI for your cover letter. Just write it yourself. And the people I've talked to, I say, yeah, no, like I'm old school. I genuinely believe that they aren't using AI to do that. But I think they're just still getting lost in essentially this giant data dump that AI is going out and scraping. And I feel like we're back to like Monster, the world of Monster, where like when Monster and Indeed and all of these new job boards kind of popped up, and the whole thing was like, oh, we're going to go in, we're going to scrape your jobs from your ATS. We're going to pull them into our system. And then we're going to have applicants create profiles on Monster and Indeed. Communities. And then we're going to go into those communities based on their own tags, and we're going to scrape people out of these communities and match them to your jobs.
Yep.
And that never worked.
Yeah.
Very rarely did it work. The only thing that really truly gets a great candidate's ass in a seat is a really, really good recruiting team.
Yep.
And so I think we're back into like the data dump.
It's a bad situation, because a lot of these companies have invested millions and millions of dollars into these systems with the promise that you're going to be more efficient. You're going to need less recruiters. You're going to get better candidates. And then on the backside, all they're getting is AI applicants applying to these AI systems. And it's just
well, and then another thing is I saw the other day, I can't
toilet bowl.
remember what the name is, but the new thing with Gen Z is that they join these AI communities that then go out and AI applies for them to these jobs.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
then you have someone, you have Nikki here in Atlanta saying, I'm joining an AI community. I upload my information to this AI database. Then an AI bot goes out and actually searches for jobs for me, applies for the jobs for me. And then the AI on the other side is like, so you're...
It's crazy.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I struggle with the AI easy button.
Well, and speaking of AI easy button, do we want to talk about how all of the social platforms are now kind of panicking because social media is starting to decline and they're trying to figure out how do we create AI content dumps to re-engage people.
You're talking about like OpenAI creating the social platform.
Yeah, Meta.
And Meta creating a social platform of just AI video slop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're literally approaching the Wall-E
world.
Wall-E scenario. my favorite, one of my favorite animated movies.
I made you watch that.
Yeah, it's just amazing how it predicted the future where
Yeah.
everyone's just staring at the screens and everyone's on their
Well,
scooters.
hopefully we're not all in wheelchairs,
Yeah,
scooters.
and fat and just staring at screens. 'Cause that's literally what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll get, we talked about this earlier because I had posted something on Instagram yesterday and it was about the millennial ache. And then that got us talking, not debating, but discussing how I think Gen X, really anyone outside of any older than Gen Z feels this. It's this, like, when I think about being a millennial, you know, when the iPhone first came out, I was in high school. And so we went from having like a flip phone with, you know, just dial buttons. Like some cool people had Blackberries, but like only rich kids had Blackberries. Like that wasn't like a norm.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would a kid need a BlackBerry? That's weird.
It was a rich kid thing,
Yeah.
you know? And so, but I remember the very first iPhone that I saw at school. And it was such a big deal. And it was just like this crazy shift all of a sudden where, you know, we had chat rooms, which that was a really big drama when I was growing up, chat rooms, because there was a lot of, it was kind of the first time that like bad people had access to children really easily. And so that was, my parents were very strict. I can say I was never a chat room person. I would like message my like best friend or my boyfriend, but like I never was a chat room, but it was a huge thing. It was a really big drama. And then all of a sudden the iPhone came out, everyone got them.
This is 2007, 2008.
Yeah, 2007, 2008. And then, I mean, Facebook just exploded. I mean, it obviously existed before then, but it really exploded, I felt like, in 2008. And then from there, it was just such a huge shift. But we grew up, like, the way we grew up was so analog. You know, like, we didn't have, like, I mean, we had I guess my dad had computers because he worked in technology.
Yeah.
But even most, like, households when I was really young, like, you maybe have one computer.
Yeah.
You didn't
family
like,
computer.
Yeah, you had a family computer. Like you had one phone. You didn't have multiple phones in a house. Like we just had one phone and one computer. And that was kind of like middle class America. Like that's how you grew up as a millennial. That's definitely how you grew up as Gen X and older.
Yep.
And so this like generational ache to go back to that. And I've been feeling it a lot recently. Like you keep saying like, no, you've got to re-engage on social media. I feel this like desire to just get off social media so badly. And not because I think that everything is bad on social media. I think it allows you to connect with people. But it's kind of just like, you just want to go back to connecting with people in person. And like the only way that you feel like you can do that is by rejecting social media.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely on the decline. I mean, we see since 2024, all of last year and this year, social media utilization is going down, except in the United States.
With the boomer
And the only
generation.
reason it's not going down in the United States is because boomers are using it at an exponential level.
They're actually going up.
Yeah. And so that's...
Which is crazy.
But you're right on every other demographic is going down, and they're trying to figure out how do we change this trend, and somehow they think generating a bunch of AI slop videos
Well, they're trying to
is
get
going to
people
do it.
re-addicted to
Yeah,
things.
re-addicted to it. But it's funny, like even now, I'm so hyper aware of AI videos that so many things like basically if something looks interesting, you'll send it to me. I'll be like AI.
Yeah.
Every single time, and then you're like, no, and you'll go back and look and be like, God damn,
Yeah.
she's wearing a different shirt.
Yeah.
When the bear busted into her
Her
window in her room.
She was dressed in this one shirt.
Yeah,
and
then
like,
she's outside and it's in a different shirt. Yeah, it's like that's all they're doing now. It's
Yeah.
just trying to create AI videos to catch people's
and that's why
attention.
like I'm just like I don't even, I try to curate my own little like world, and I just don't, yeah, I'm just turned off by social media right now. I don't like it.
I mean, I we've talked about this 100 times. I think there's a lot of positives to it, and there's definitely a much greater number of negatives. It depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
It definitely connects you with people that you would not otherwise stay in touch with.
Yeah.
To me, it is an informative tool, especially around brands and work and things. I mean, it can spark a lot of ideas. A lot of our ideas have come from people that we've, seen present ideas on social media. So there's a lot of positives, but there's also, you just got to be very conscious of it.
Yeah.
You got to be conscious of the negative.
Well, the funny thing is I watched this guy the other day who's like an AI expert, and he gives tips on how to spot AI videos. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to his video, his like tips on how to spot things, it's so obvious. And so you're like, oh, okay, so I can spot
like
that.
What?
Like one of the things he was saying is when you zoom in to, let's say, like a pattern, AI really just like hands are like an obvious thing that AI is really bad at creating hands.
Yeah.
If you zoom into
like 5 fingers.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, 6 fingers.
If you zoom into a pattern, a lot of times, like let's say on a shirt, it has a hard time with consistent patterns.
Oh yeah.
Or like it'll place someone in like a weird location. So like there was a subway, like a video of someone on a subway, and they were interviewing the person on the subway, and she was pretending to say, "This is my husband," and she was like next to a random guy, and he's supposed to like react to that. And if you look at the person next to him, the person's literally sitting in front of the subway door, so you can see like there's no seats in front of an actual subway door, so you see that that's AI generated.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the color, so AI can't control light.
Yeah.
And so when you look at an AI video, a lot of times they'll be fake. So like the faces will be lit up, but they're in a scenario where unless there's a movie crew with them,
right.
There's no possible way for their faces to be so well lit.
Yeah.
Because their skin's perfect, but they're on the subway. If you were to film someone on a subway, it's overhead lighting. It'd be, you'd have shadows on your face. So that's another thing that he pointed out was lighting, patterns, obviously hands, location of where people are, and then there was another thing, but I can't remember what it was.
Just if it's too interesting, like if it's a bunch of bunnies jumping on a trampoline outside in the dark, that's AI. Well, it doesn't happen.
Now they're gonna have the AI actress that they're trying to make like the next Scarlett Johansson, which seems so stupid.
I don't think the public will sign up for a movie where they know an AI actress is involved.
Also, why are they doing this?
Oh, wait, I say that though. Like you think about the Marvel movies, they're all CGI.
Yeah, I mean the CGI is still like a real person, like acting.
I guess.
Like,
yeah. Well, what about Jurassic Park?
Well, but those are dinosaurs.
I know.
But these are people. Like people want to meet celebrities. People want to like, I don't know. I think it's weird.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there's a market for it.
I mean, I'm sure there's a market for weirdos who want to only live in an AI universe, but not me.
Probably the same people that ride giant bikes.
I don't even know anyone that rides a giant.
No, maybe I should have specialized. No, just kidding.
Speaking of AI, I just got a text message. So cool. I actually dreamed about you last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't even know how to respond to that one.
Mine, normally just say hi.
Hi.
Hello. Want to talk about T Swift's new album?
I haven't gotten through it yet because I candidly am not a huge fan of it.
It's getting blasted on the reviews. Blasted.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like so I've listened to I should say I've listened to all the songs, but I kind of like have skimmed them. The first thing I do when I listen to a new album is I want to skim it to see which one is the hit. So like I want to go like I'll start listening to the song, and if it doesn't like hook me in as like a hit, I just keep going until I find the one on the album that I'm like, ooh, hit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a hit for everyone, but that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
me.
It's catchy.
I want the repeat song. I want the one that just like it's so good you can listen to it on repeat as an ADHD weirdo.
Yep.
And yeah, I cannot find that on
There's
the album.
not one.
There's not one that I've found. I am also just like there's like some kind of explicit weirdness like in her lyrics. I won't get onto I don't really even feel comfortable getting into it on this. If you've listened to it, if you listen to the song Wood, It's just weird. I just don't like it. Like, I've listened to Taylor Swift since I was 15 years old. She is like a year older than me. And
you don't want to think about her that way.
To me, she is nostalgia. Taylor Swift is every girl who just like wrote in their journal, their little angry journal about breakups or friendships or happiness or sadness or dreams or hopes. Like, that's what Taylor Swift brings to the table. And I think she is an incredible songwriter. But this did not. It's not even raunchy. It's just uncomfortable. And I don't like it.
Like awkward.
I see Taylor Swift as like androgynous figurehead who I'm super excited she's getting married. But I do not want to think about Taylor Swift engaging in any acts of anything.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
I haven't listened to a single note. I have no idea. I just have seen the reviews, which are saying it's kind of like the reviews composition. Like, why did she make this album? Like,
it seems rushed to me.
It feels rushed and
it feels like not. Yeah, I don't know.
But everyone said there's no hits on it. So
yeah, there's nothing that's standing out to me. Now, I like to listen to things for a while before, and then maybe something will jump out at me. But
all right, we'll get a second review next.
Yeah, I don't
week.
know. I don't need to know about Travis Kelce's personal matters.
His wood.
I don't need to know about it. It's the same reason I don't particularly like rap music that much. I don't like listening to music that, I don't know. I just don't like that.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
And I'm not even like a conservative person. For me, music is supposed to be nostalgic, relaxing, or exciting. And I don't find those lyrics, any of those.
I got something else.
Yeah.
Not on our list. Do we want to talk about Bonk Bros' review of 129?
I mean, they're just like verbal vomit. Dylan, he spoke
I've had
decently of it.
several guys that were on the ride that reached out to me and be like, dude, like, we thought Dylan was cool and like they were talking shit about our ride. I guess he didn't like us. And I said, I think you're hearing the other guys.
Yeah.
Dylan was very careful
in
what he said about the ride. And I think he said he enjoyed it, but he just felt like everyone was as committed to breaking the
5.
But
fastest known time.
We did break the fastest known time, Dylan.
Yeah.
For the record, it was 5:09. Before that was 5:26. So it was the fastest we've done. We just didn't break 5, which was never I think a realistic goal. But it was the shit talking of the other guys, I think, that threw the guys here off.
So you're saying Bonk Bros lost some listeners?
I don't know if they ever were listeners. I think they just listened because they talked about that and they kind of shared it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all of them. It was really just this one guy, the guy that was laying in bed. I think his name was Adam.
I thought he was a paraplegic.
I thought his name's Adam, I think. And that, yeah, I just told him it's not a big deal. I mean, these guys, again, thanks again, Dylan, for coming, but the rest of those guys are not.
I don't know who they are, but I'm not in this world. So.
They're pretend pros. Like they would not have a podcast that anyone listened to if Dylan Johnson wasn't on it.
That's true.
That's the reality of it, and so you can't get bent out of shape.
I thought it was hilarious. I was like, I was laughing so hard watching it, mainly because of how uncomfortable Dylan looked, because they were trying to like bait him into like saying bad things, and he was just like refusing, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
and it was really just the one. I mean, I should say Scott McGill, who rides for Echelon, he was saying, well, wasn't it kind of like for camaraderie?
Yeah.
I think it was him.
I think they were just.
It was just the one guy.
I think they were just hurt that we didn't invite all of them.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
No one responded to me. I invited them on Instagram to next year, and no one responded to me from Bonk Bros. Yeah.
Oh, so. They probably were like, "Oh shit, there's actually people involved." Like
there's people
humans
listening.
that like they have a platform. They can actually. Oh no.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter.
So I'd say yeah.
It was a fun weekend, and we appreciate everyone that participated. And Bonk Bros, you are welcome to come next year, and we'll.
It'll never happen.
Wow, but maybe Maybe.
We'll see. Okay, you want to talk about Crank It Up?
Yeah, so another fun event we have coming up October 21st. It's on a Tuesday afternoon. Get your tennis shoes and your bibs ready because we're having...
You don't have to be in bibs, just normal clothes.
Yeah, but for comfort.
Oh, okay.
If you want.
I think most people...
I would say workout clothes, at least. Like jeans might not be super comfy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're doing a Crank It Up event with Wahoo.
Mm-hmm.
They're our hometown heroes here when it comes to endurance technology. And they're bringing 3 of their new Kicker Bike Pros. So for those of you that don't know, they have a lot of people know what the Kicker is. If you're a cyclist, you probably have one. The Kicker Bike is their fancy schmancy bike trainer that essentially is, you don't have to put your bike on.
It's a complete stationary
bike. It's a complete stationary bike that is custom to your measurements and very adjustable and all of those good things. Very pricey. And so their new Kicker Bike Pro is coming out. They're going to have 3 of them here, and we're going to be doing heats of 3 racing each other. So on Zwift,
10 rounds.
10 rounds. It's short, only a mile, right?
It's like 3 to 4 minute effort.
Yeah, 3 to 4 minute effort. You race in 1 round. The winner of that round, or winners, basically we take the fastest people from all the rounds and then narrow that down, and they start racing each other in the other rounds.
The 3 fastest from all 10 rounds will move on to the final.
Yeah.
And they'll compete for the win.
Yes.
And that's both male and female. So females, you're racing against females. Males, you're racing against males. But you could have a heat where you've got 2 guys and a girl.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because they're not racing each other. They're just racing everyone.
Yeah. Although, women, if you want to beat all the men, you can.
Well, that too. Yeah. I mean, that would be awesome too.
Prizes.
And you don't have to be a cyclist to do this. I think that's really important.
No, you could be runner, weightlifter. I mean,
exactly. It's only a 3-minute effort.
There might be some weightlifting people out there that could put some watts out.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've 100% seen someone who's not a full-time bike rider come in and blow everyone's doors off on something like this. So the stakes are high. I mean, the winner gets a kicker, which is like over $1,000.
Is it going to be in erg mode?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because how does the power to weight rate? Are we going to weigh people and then put their actual weight set? How is that going to work?
That is a good question for Steve Bessany.
Okay, we need to clear this up because the power to weight ratio. I mean, that's an issue on.
Yeah,
Zwift.
I guess. Yeah. So you are competing on Zwift. So yeah, I wonder if they are putting in weight, because you would need to do that.
You would need to have people weigh themselves to put in the correct weight.
But good prizes: kicker for the winner, Rome for second place, and a ticker heart rate strap for third. We might have some other prizes as well. We'll have some snacks and beverages,
libations,
and we will have music and announcers and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
And you don't have to compete just to come.
No,
just come just to cheer people on and root for people and do all that stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to do it here in the studio.
It's going to be a big party. And then afterwards, if you want to walk down the bell line and grab dinner or grab drinks with friends, our office is on the bell line. So easy to do.
So literally 2 weeks from today.
Yeah. So the doors will open at 6 p.m.
5:30.
The doors will open at 5:30 p.m. and then races start at 6 p.m.
Yep.
Sharp.
Yep.
So if you sign up, make sure you go. We posted the registration link on our bios. We're also going to take flyers around to different bike shops and different stores.
Can we put the registration link in the show notes?
Yeah, I'll put the registration link in the show notes. So if you're going to race, that's what you register through so that we know how many people are racing.
Yep.
And then just get here a little bit early if you're racing, just to make sure that we can
check you in and do all that stuff.
Check you in, set up everything. But it'll be a lot of fun. I really encourage runners, weightlifters, workout.
I know. I'm looking forward to you recruiting your runner friends.
I want someone to blow the cyclist out of the water. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll happen, but it would be really fun.
Yeah. Otherwise, we are off to Chicago
on Friday
in a couple of days, and you'll have your marathon, and we're going to go to all the activations, and looking forward to seeing our friends. We're going to go to the Bandit. I assume we'll go to the Bandit in Tracksmith. Are they doing something? Yeah,
Bandit, Tracksmith, they're all doing stuff.
Swiftwick's going to be there.
Yep.
We talked about them last week. So it should be a fun recount of what happens next Tuesday.
And this is my first major that I've ever been to, so it's going to be, I'm excited just to see, again, we go to so many of these gravel races that are really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see kind of what this big marathon experience is like.
The